Yes, once again, welcome back to Retro Mechanics. It's been long since I've heard from you guys. In this video, we are going to look about the basic principles of motor vehicle wiring. Before understanding motor vehicle wiring properly, we need to first understand the theory behind everything. So, we all know that motor vehicles run on DC power. DC power, basically. There are two types of power. We have AC power and also we have DC power. DC power, the difference between DC and AC is that DC is direct current, whereas AC is alternating current. It means DC moves from one direction to another, whereas AC changes direction with time. Now, in the interest of our viewers, I'm going to explain everything in an elementary way, in a way that everyone can easily understand, whether you have basic engineering knowledge, whether you don't know anything. As long as you have some elementary knowledge in physics or science, you'll easily understand. Now, this is a basic electrical DC circuit. As we understood that DC moves from only one direction. This one here is the battery. This one here is the load. A load can be anything. It can be a bulb, it can be a motor, it can be anything. This is our switch. We have labeled it K, where L is the load, K is the switch, and V is the battery. So to understand everything, current moves when you connect a battery, you connect it to the load, and also you put the switch there. When you close this switch K, current flows from positive terminal and it flows through the load towards the negative terminal. As current is flowing through the load, electrical energy is converted into other forms of energy. If it is a bulb, electrical energy is converted into light energy. It can be converted into heat energy. It can be converted into mechanical energy if you have connected the motor and everything. So basically, that's how electricity works. You convert electrical energy into other forms of energy when the electrons are flowing. So whenever the electrons are flowing, they generate heat. They generate heat. The amount of electrons flowing through a circuit is what we call the electrical current. So after understanding that, let's look at some of the important definitions when you are looking at electricity. Remember, we are understanding how motor vehicle is being wired. But before understanding everything and everything making sense to you, you need to first understand the theory. So I'm making the theory as simple as possible. Now, current. This is the flow of electrons. The flow of electrons per unit time is called the current. So voltage, it is the pressure that pushes electric charge through a conductor. It determines how much energy is available to move the electrons. So if you have your battery and it's 3 volts, that is the amount of energy which is available. So it means little current will flow. So if you have a very high voltage, it means the amount of current which you can flow through that circuit is also very high. So resistance, I hope you can see very clearly my handwriting. Resistance is the opposition to the flow of electrons. When electrons flow, they dissipate heat in the conductor and thereby converting electrical energy into other forms of energy like heat energy, light energy, etc. as we've seen. Now, the power dissipated. We all understand the meaning of the word power. Power basically means the amount of energy which is being used per unit time. The amount of energy which is being used per unit time. That's what we call power. So basically, the power dissipated, this is the formula. You don't need to understand it too much to cram it if you are elementary, but those who already have knowledge about physics, they understand this point. Power dissipated is measured by I squared R. It means the higher the current, the higher the power being dissipated in electrical circuit. As we understood before, that whenever the electrons are flowing, they dissipate heat in a circuit. So how do we protect this circuit? Basically, in most cases, whenever the current is flowing too much, for example 20 amps is too much, 30 amps is too much, 40 amps is too much. So in this way, if you are flowing current which is too much to the load, it will damage the load or it will damage the cables. How do we protect these cables? By putting there a fuse. That's why you see fuses everywhere. In your car you have a fuse box. A fuse box basically contains fuses. These fuses, they are connected to each component in a car. For example, if you are having your bulbs and they are consuming a total of 16 amps, you put there a fuse of 20 amps. It means once you exceed 20 amps, this fuse will blow up, so it will protect the load. So fuses are there basically to protect the load. I hope everything is clear. In case something is not clear, please, you are free to ask in the comment section. So basically, if you understand everything here, if you can understand everything here, I put everything here on the paper so that we can easily understand. You can even pause the video and look clearly at these things so that you understand them better. So this is basically the flow of DC current in a motor vehicle. Motor vehicles, motorcycles, everything we use at home, they use the electric current. We shall not go into alternating current because it is not our area of interest regarding motor vehicles. I hope this video makes sense. You should follow, and also we shall meet in part 2 where we shall understand more and more about electricity of the cars. Once we understand the theory properly, the practical will make a lot of sense. What disturbs most of our mechanics in these days is because they don't understand the theory, so they end up making a lot of mistakes. So in the next video, we shall try to see some of the electrical components, how they work. After understanding how the electrical components they work, then electrical wiring will be very easy. It will make a lot of sense to you. I hope this video has helped you. If it has helped you, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing to all your friends.